the way I've come to understand it is a way of thinking that transcends into consistent behaviors.
JP Duminy is a well-known international cricketer with a massive scoring average who come from humble beginnings on the Cape Flats. Let's go find out how JP transitioned from international fame to humble servanthood.
I guess culture in companies, culture in homes, culture in the team on the field, and the culture of a nation is all probably built in the same way, I assume. But I want to hear your view. If you think about the lessons you've learned about culture in team and sport, and you apply that to what's happening in South Africa right now, I want to hear from you. What do you think the South African culture is looking like right now? And what's right about it and what's wrong about it?
So if we had to define what the South African culture is, I think it's how can I get to the top? And I'm willing to do anything and trample on anyone to get there. What's right about that? I can't see anything right about that, but I guess if I had to really pick something out, it would be that you're trying to be the best that you can be. It's how you're trying to be the best that I guess we got to define or refine. And that old saying of does the means justify the ends? I think we have to really look at that for ourselves. And then I want to go back as to, defining culture. And the way I've come to understand it is a way of thinking that transcends into consistent behaviors. That's how I'd like to define it. So what does that mean? It is collectively coming together with a certain ambition, a way of thinking that we believe is going to lead us in the right direction. So as we've discovered, what do we need as a country? We need to serve. So that's a way of thinking. So how do we create that in a way that becomes consistent doing things, so behaviors, an expression of ourselves? I think that's the foundation of being consistent in what we do and then defining success. So that has been an interesting explorational process for me as a cricketer. We embarked as a Proteas, I would say probably 7-8 years ago on this, actually even further than that, probably 12 years ago. Who are we as a country? Who are we as a nation? And how do we use our cultural differences to bring us closer together? And I think we sort of got a better understanding because we spoke earlier about telling each other stories, listening to each other's stories. We went through a process of that where each guy could literally sit in front of the team and share who they are, where they come from, the experiences in life. And it wasn't about too much about asking questions, about more just listening. And then, in my view, once you get a deep understanding of somebody, if I get to know you on a deeper level, there's a 100% a better connection that would then transcend out in the field. And then we went a step further in, we kind of made this public, where we defined what the Proteas culture was, and we gave a name to it, which was Protea Fire, and we tried to identify with that. And that was also about serving our nation. And I think we're at a time now where we almost not need to redefine it, but how does it apply to the next generation now? How does this culture get shifted and tweaked somewhat into identifying with the very present generation so that when you leave a legacy behind?